Hello, my name is Dr. Tina Plummer, and I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Curriculum Assessment and Professional Development for the Mehlville School District. I would like to welcome you and your child to kindergarten here in Mehlville. In this video, we hope to answer several questions you might have about our full-day kindergarten program. We're going to give for you an overview of supplies your students would need, about what it's going to be like for your students to ride the bus, the lunch program, recess, and things going on daily in the classroom.
Our priority for driving the kids back and forth to school is to make sure that they're safe. When they get on the bus, we want to make sure that the bus is safe for them to get on the bus. So we have what we call a pre-trip and a post-trip on the school buses. The brake systems, the steering, all the directional signals. We check the emergency exits. You'll hear a buzzer sounding that lets us know that the emergency exits are working. We also have roof hatches that we can get out through. They come completely up. We check the seats every day that they're secure to the floor. And then we come to the back exit door, and this is called a rear exit evacuation, which we have to evacuate the bus out the back. And you can hear the buzzer sounding off now. This here is a camera. We have a camera in the front and the back of the bus. It's also sound. We pick up sound with this camera. We can zoom in on things on the bus in case something happens on the bus. There's no eating or drinking on the bus. Keep your area clean. If your student comes home and says that there's a problem on the bus with another student, feel free to come and approach the bus driver, and we'll try and take care of it the best we can. If you need to talk to transportation or the principal at the school, feel free to please call them. The first day, Grandma and Grandpa's going to be there, Mom and Dad's going to be there. A lot of people want to be there when the kids first get on the bus, because they're going to be leery to get on the bus. There's a stranger sitting there in the front of the bus driving the bus. But I try to talk with the kids, and all the drivers try to talk with the kids and interact with them, make them feel more comfortable. There'll be some criers going to the school, but we talk to them on the way into the school, and teachers are there when we get to school, and they meet the kids and start talking to the kids right then and there. What we ask is at least 5 minutes prior to the time of pickup, and give us at least 5 minutes after the time of pickup, especially in inclement weather. This is strictly for the kindergarten students. If you're not there to pick your son or daughter up at the stop at the correct time, your student will be returned to the school, and they will call and notify you that that student has been returned to the school.
So parents ought to feel really, really good and safe that we're taking great care of their kids?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I hope so. We try to do the best job we can for them.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Buckley, and I'd like to talk about a few things you can do to help your child get ready for kindergarten. The most important thing your child will need is a medium-sized backpack, one which will hold an 11 by 14-inch envelope. Please, no rolling backpacks, as they are bulky and difficult to store. Some backpacks are too small and require children to bend their folders and priceless masterpieces we know you will cherish for many years to come, so please choose a backpack carefully. Please label everything you send with your child's name, such as coats, lunch boxes, and extra clothes. Be sure any money is sent in an envelope with your child's name, teacher's name, and what the money is for on the outside. There will be a specific supply list sent home by your child's teacher, asking for the things your child will need for school. These lists are often large, as we use many consumable items in kindergarten, and the majority of these items are discounted in August, but triple the price in January when your child runs out. If your child needs a rest mat, they are often only available at back-to-school time, and they go fast, so look for those as soon as possible. If your child is going to purchase a school lunch, menus are sent home monthly, but are also available on the district's website under Students.
Kindergarten recess, we get to play on the playground here, on the blacktop. They can play kickball if they would like. They do chalk, they do pictures on the blacktop if they want. We have a 20-minute recess, and then we go in and have lunchtime in the cafeteria. Weather permitting, we're always outside except on rainy days, or if the temperature's too cold, we have indoor recess, and then they have activities they do inside the classroom. It's always nice to have tennis shoes on less falls that way, and also check the weather forecast, because sometimes we have children that don't have the appropriate coats on. It's always nice to have a heavier coat on, and they can shed it if they are too hot, but always have the appropriate clothing on. As far as a health concern, or if they have a sickness, we require a note from the parents that will go to the nurse, and it'll be in the office, and in that case the student will be able to sit in the office during recess.
In kindergarten, the children go to recess first, and then after recess they go to lunch. And in the cafeteria they have the opportunity to buy their lunch every day, or they can bring their lunch from home, and either way is fine. We have a variety of food choices in the cafeteria. Every day they'll have a hot lunch choice, and then they have a choice of either a turkey sandwich and a sun butter sandwich. We don't serve any peanut products in our cafeteria. There will be a lunch calendar that comes out every month, and it usually goes home in a weekly folder that the building will send home to the families, and in there will be the monthly schedule, so you can know in advance what you want to order for your child. Usually what parents do for school lunches for their kindergartners is they pack things that they know they're going to enjoy eating, and they usually put an ice pack inside if the lunch needs to stay cool, and that works out really great. For the students that like to buy their lunch, parents can put money into an account, and then the children go in every day. They don't have to have any money transactions. They just put their password into a little keypad, and the passwords are given to the children as school starts, and they memorize them slowly. We give them a lot of patience on that, and then that way the parents know when a lunch has been deducted, and they can check all that information out online, and they'll get that information from their kindergarten teachers at the beginning of the school year. If you bring in cash, their teacher will probably send it to the cafeteria to be put into their account. We always have adult facilitation in the cafeteria. We have recess aides in our building that go with the children to recess, and then they go with the children through lunch. In kindergarten, most of the time the teachers will also go to the children with lunch for the first few weeks, just so we can get them through the lunch line. We can kind of tell them where to sit, help them open their things that need to be opened, and just generally make them feel more comfortable. Lunch do's and don'ts for a parent. Please do not send soda and candy, but send your child a healthy, well-balanced lunch that they would enjoy eating. It can be simple things. It doesn't have to be a really huge lunch, but think about what your child's normal needs would be in the middle of the day and make some choices based on that.
In kindergarten, I feel like we're different than any other grade level because every single child has individualized instruction because they have to, because of that spectrum of learning. Reading and writing is probably the biggest surprise to most parents. The children do learn how to read in kindergarten. We start very simple at the beginning of the year, and it's just amazing throughout the year, the growth that we see in both those two areas. We make sure, that's my job, is to make sure that they feel successful, because they have many more years of this ahead of them. And so we want it to be a very positive experience. We do a lot of whole group instruction, but then when we work in small groups, which happens a lot in kindergarten, we really just zoom in, I guess you would say, on the particular strengths or weaknesses of a group of kiddos, and then see what we can do to build that. In writing, the children will be expected to write 5 sentences on one topic. So we don't necessarily call it a paragraph, but that's essentially it. What we're trying to do is we're trying to get them to communicate a message, write a message that makes sense, that revolves all around one thing, because typically 5-year-olds like to talk about many things all at once, and they kind of jump all over the place. And so not only do we learn that in our talking and our speaking, but also in our writing. Math, we recognize numbers and count them up to 100. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. We reproduce numbers, we just write the numbers up to 50. In kindergarten, I would say it's equally as important as all of the academics, is the socialization. Very important for children to be able to socialize with their peers. The biggest goal I probably have is teaching them to interact with each other, to take turns, to follow directions, to cooperate and work together as a team to accomplish a task. And that sounds very simplified, and it's probably one of the hardest things that I teach. I would just encourage parents to read to their child as much as possible. It sounds so simple, but it's the most powerful thing that we could do. Just that exposure, being that role model, showing them that you enjoy reading and that reading can be so much fun. Writing is a little bit more challenging because that's not something that's natural. They don't probably see us write stories, and they don't see us, write in a journal as often. I've never met a child that doesn't love kindergarten. And yes, that's the best part about my job. They can't wait to see me. I can't wait to see them. They're genuinely happy, and they are here to just learn. They are like a sponge. They just soak it all up, everything. From the academics to the socialization, the attention that they get, their friends, those relationships that they're forming. Kindergarten, it's true. Kindergarten is the best place. It's the best. I tease them all the time. You'll appreciate this later, but this is the best place to be, right here.
If you have more questions, please feel free to contact your child's principal at their school, or you may contact my office at 467-5155. Thanks, and have a great school year.